Welcome to It Starts With You, where we cut through the noise and get real about the behaviours that shape our lives, both personally and professionally. I'm Vic O'Farrell. Let's jump in because behaviours start with you. And so here we are again on another solo episode with me, Vic O'Farrell. And if you remember on the last solo episode, we talked about all of those layers, and I talk about our behaviours being like an onion, peeling back all the layers, and fundamentally the core being our personality, which doesn't fundamentally change in our lifetime. And then everything else that comes over it is all to do with our life's experiences. Today I want to talk about core values and the boundaries. Now, when people ask me, "Oh, what do you mean by like values? What are your core values?" Well, they're like the fundamental drivers that make you who you are, make you react to situations in a particular way, might make you communicate in a particular way. We talk about our personalities. Are we outgoing, we're reserved, people focused, task focused? Values change over your lifetime depending on what it is that really, really makes you tick and what's important to you. So you can ask yourself simply these questions of what is the most important thing to you in your life right now? Now, depending on where you are when you're listening to this, you might answer it differently. Depending on where you are in your life, you might answer that differently. But if I just said to you right now, just sit and think about it for a moment. What is the most important thing to you in your life right now? What is your driver? Now, for example, you might say, you might be at work, might be the end of the month when you listen to this, and it might be paid, you might have something big coming up that you need to pay out on, and you might turn around and say, right now, the most important thing to me right now is money, getting my wages at the end of the month and getting that money in my bank. But money isn't a value that you can say, my top value is money. Ask yourself the next layer of question. What is it that money gives you? Now, you might say, well, it means I can go on holiday, gives me the freedom to do the stuff that I want to do. And you can drill down more on that side. You might say, money helps me pay the bills. It keeps a roof over mine and my family's head. It means that I can drive the car that I want to drive. There's lots of different reasons why you could say money is the most important thing to me. And it's quite vulgar to talk about money, isn't it? Which is why I've picked that, because a lot of people don't like to talk about it. But yeah, absolutely. Let's think about money can't be the value. Money is not a core value. What is it that the money gives you? So let's go down the holiday route. Money gives me the ability to travel the world. Money gives me the ability to do the things I want to do. Well, what does that give me? That gives me experiences. That gives me freedom to do it when I want to do it and how I want to do it. Okay, now we're getting to nearer what your values are. So then look at other things that what's important to you right now. What's important to me right now? I'm recording this just as we're in spring in British summer, not British summertime. We're in spring in British springtime. And what's important to me right now is to get outside in the fresh air. And it might be the same for you, to just be out at one with nature, whether it's in the countryside, whether it's on the seafront, or maybe even in the city, and just to be outside. Okay, what does being outside give you? Oh, a sense of, again, it could be just a sense of freedom, a sense of space, a sense of awareness. Okay, drill down further and further. Now, there are lots of coaches out there, not just me, that can actually help you really get down to the nitty gritty of what your values are. But I want you to journal on it. If you're really interested in understanding what your values are, journal on what is the most important thing to me right now. Taking money, but go the other way rather than the holiday. Go, well, I can pay the bills, so I can put a roof over my family. I have somewhere to live. I have choice. But it also, what is it that about putting a roof over your head? What is it about that? Some people rent their properties, some people buy their properties, and people might be like, well, no, because it means I own my own space. I own my own apartment, house, whatever it is. And actually, that could be, it's more about the security that it gives me. Oh, okay. So security is important to you. What is it that security gives you? Well, it means that I know my family's safe. I know I'm safe. If I pay all my bills and I pay everything, then I'm safe as to where I am. Okay, so safety and security. What do they give you? Drill and drill and drill. Rather than just saying, what are the values? What's important to me right now? Important to me right now is that you listen to this podcast and you get something from it, and that I make an impact on people's lives. That's important to me, but I will always drill that further. What's important to you? What does that give you? What else does that give you? Keep going. And then start with another one. What else is the most important thing to you in your life right now? Write a word. What does that give you? This. What else does it give you? That. And then start looking to see if there's patterns towards those words. What patterns are coming up? It could be, I'm taking two examples there in terms of money. It could be the freedom and excitement and holidays and adventure and the sense of space. It could be all that. Or it could be going down the road of putting a roof over your family's head, the security, the safety, the comfort. Two completely different ways, but both started with money. Do you see where I'm coming from? Now I want you to look at, when you've done all of that drilling down and you've journaled on it, or maybe, like you say, take some time with a coach and find out what it is really. Look at the boundaries. Where do you put your values? What kind of boundary do you have? And even, do you have boundaries? You might be sitting there thinking, what do you mean by boundaries, Vic? Boundaries, what, like kissing the fence around my garden? No, 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 no. Boundaries that you probably don't realize that you have. Maybe a lot of the things that you've got healthy boundaries with. But there are things called a rigid boundary, and they are hard and fast, and you're not breaking them. You're not going over them. And if you try and push through those, I will push back. It could be another reason why, when something triggers you, it's not triggered your personality. It's triggered one of your values that sits in a rigid boundary. You don't even know it, because if you haven't done the deep work on yourself, you don't know. But actually, when I've realized, so for me, my highest value is respect, and it's been in a rigid boundary, which is why one of the reasons, sorry, Mark, if you listen to this, he doesn't have time, is very much like at about, and I'm like, no, no, no. If we say this time, I need to be there early. Just me, that's just who I am. And I get that that's not him. But understand that when something triggers you, it might be triggering one of your values that's stuck in the rigid box. And there's nothing wrong. It's not right or wrong. Your values aren't right or wrong. Your boundaries aren't right or wrong. It's just having a self-awareness of it, so that when it gets triggered, rather than reacting to a situation and perhaps causing some like conflict, maybe, especially in the workplace, what you can think of is that actually, no, it's that value and it's that boundary. And that's okay. Because what they're doing is they're just rubbing me up. It's fine. It's not an issue. It's not a problem. I'm recognizing it. And the more we can hold a mirror up and understand what drives us as humans, the more you can understand other people, the more you can flex and adapt who you are, the more you can go, okay, now I understand why I'm reacting like this. It's not right or wrong. It's just me getting triggered. Core values and boundaries. Journal on them. What's the most important thing to you? What does that give you? What else does that give you? And what else does that give you? Keep going. And am I flexible with it? And if I'm not, that'll get triggered. And if I am, it's fine. I'll get it triggered, but perhaps not as much. Short and sweet, this one. And I want you to continue to journal on it. I'm going to unpick some of those other layers in the next solo episodes. If there's a particular layer that you want me to unpick, let me know and I'll bring that one to the top. Until the next time. Bye for now. Well, that's today's dose of truth. Now go make it happen, because behaviour drives behaviour. And behaviour starts with you.